Right now, you're looking at the chilling new video that we have of Stanislav Aretsky jogging just moments before he was gunned down. So you just see him there running. He's shot and killed multiple times seconds later. You can see a man in what appears to be a white hat trailing him. Now, it appears that Aretsky's killer could have tracked his movements using the popular running app called Strava. Now, we have obtained here at Outfront posts of Aretsky's 2 prior runs to this one, where he was gunned down and murdered, from July 3rd and July 5th, 5 days before he was killed. And look at the map. Look at the map, identical. He takes the same route every time. And it was along that very same route that Aretsky was killed. Nick Payton-Walsh is following all of these developments and is out front tonight. And Nick, let's begin with the breaking news, this tape that we've obtained of a Russian general fired for speaking out against Putin's war, senior Russian general on those crucial front lines in the south along Zaporizhia. It's hard to overstate how significant this development is.
Yeah, certainly, and you've got to put it in the context of the last remarkable 3 weeks inside Putin's military. We've just had the Wagner Armed Rebellion, a mercenary group, yes, but essentially fueled by very similar complaints about essentially Russia losing the artillery war in key front lines as Ivan Popov was making. Except Popov, a general, is speaking from inside Russia's top brass again about their misconduct and poor execution of this war. And he's spoken out and he's lost his job very fast. Now, this, I think, is another sign of disarray, the disarray which we saw spilling out after the Wagner Rebellion. And it comes in a really odd 48 hours for Russia's top brass, where we've seen high-profile assassinations deep inside Russia, key commanders killed by missile strikes, and now this extraordinary dissent from Popov. Here's what we know.
For Russian generals, a home once so distant from the front is no longer safe. Here, former Russian submarine commander Stanislav Rozhitsky runs his usual route at the usual time, but with a new, unnoticed companion on a bicycle. Moments later, he was gunned down. Ukrainian Defense Intelligence said they had nothing to do with it, but they knew a lot about it, saying he had been shot 7 times with a Makarov pistol, and heavy rain meant no witnesses. Brzezinski commanded a Russian submarine accused of many attacks on civilians, Ukraine also said, although his family reportedly denied that. Ukraine added later, perhaps sarcastically, that he had been killed by his own men, who refused to kill Ukrainian civilians. Russia was quick to respond with their own propaganda, claiming to have captured the gunman within hours. Video we can't verify, but it was a crude bid to show they are in control of the fate of their top brass, after now weeks of chaos. Russian media said the killing hinged on a clumsy detail, that Rozhitsky had made his daily run public on the running app Strava, which has a long history of accidentally exposing the location of people who don't want to be found, revealing US military bases in Syria and Yemen 5 years ago. There are the dead and also the missing. News Wednesday too about this key Putin lieutenant, Sergei Surovikin, vanished since he appeared early in the armed Wagner rebellion to plead for it to stop. A top Russian lawmaker claimed he was, quote, resting, whatever that means.
Вы с Суровикиным случайно не общаетесь? С кем? С Суровикиным. А только разные слухи ходят, где он?
Нет, он отдыхает сейчас пока, недоступен.
Мы находимся в штабе.
Yet more mystery, adding to the bigger one. Where is Russia's most prominent military figure? Wagner rebellion leader Yevgeny Prigozhin. Not seen since the weekend revolt, despite Kremlin claims he met with Putin days later and pledged a sudden reversal and continued allegiance. Dead jogging or still missing. A turbulent time in the top brass.
Now, Erin, important to add that we've had today from Russian state media confirmation that another key commander, again in the south, Lieutenant General Oleg Tsokov, was killed, it seems, by a long-range missile that's been blamed by Russian bloggers potentially on British-supplied Storm Shadow missiles. This, again, is another commander, for different reasons, suddenly not in their post in the most vital part of the area which Russia is defending from Ukraine's continued counter-offensive that's picking up pace. These departures will have a tactical impact, regardless of how fast these people are replaced. Yesterday, the Russian Ministry of Defense put a brave face on, saying that Wagner's handed over 2,000 pieces of equipment, tanks, artillery, etc. But really, what we're seeing here is increased dissent spilling out into the public, that's exceptionally rare. It'll damage morale, but most likely it'll damage Russia's performance in the very places they need to fight hardest.